Santa Rita Jail is filled with some of California's most dangerous gangsters. For those who choose the life, cell houses and yards are a training ground where the inmates are indoctrinated into the gang code. For the deputies, keeping the peace is a never-ending challenge that requires more than just watching over the inmates. It requires constant surveillance and vigilance. And today in Dorm 32, Deputies Carson and Schlegel of the gang unit are following up on some fresh intel.
Time for pod time, pod time. Lower tiers, stay off the carpet. Upper tiers, stay off the stairs. Once all the doors are closed, all flash the lights. Again, this is pod time.
Apparently about a week ago, from the information we're getting, they removed some of the guys that had a lot of say in this pod for the Northern Hispanics. They were taken out. And during that time, you have a void there, so there's always going to be a little power struggle within the group to say who's going to step up and call the shots.
In the rigid gang structure behind bars, the shot caller is the one in charge. He runs the dorm, and he also keeps the peace. Without him, fights could break out. So the gang unit is trying to figure out whether someone will step up or whether this dorm is headed for trouble. Figuring that out can be tough in this constantly shifting playing field.
One of the things that they do as leaders is to help train everybody else that's coming in here, or make sure that people understand, the structure in there. This is a county jail. When you're in the county jail, it's not like we're in prison where people are in there for years at a time. They're in for short periods of time, and so there's a lot of turnover, and there's a lot of people coming and going.
That constant turnover is one of the key challenges to keeping control here. Santa Rita sees more than 60,000 inmates each year, so rivals from the street can easily end up housed next to each other, and that can spell trouble. Just as the jail is constantly looking to classify the incoming gang members, the gangs themselves have their own strict classification process. And just like the jail, it begins from the moment an inmate walks into a new cell house.
When they come in, they have to check in, and when they check in, they have to give, from the time they started coming into custody of the first crime that they ever committed to up until now, they have to list each and every crime that they committed, where they went, where they stayed, what state prison they were in, who this cellie was, and all that stuff. So they have to have that track record there. It's like writing up their resume.
These gang resumes are compiled on notes called huelas, and they are the key means of communication between the gang members. The writing on the note is tiny, called micro-writing, and each one gets moved throughout the facility, checked out to see whether a new inmate is who he says he is.
Information flows from one end of this facility to the other end of the facility on a daily basis. And the reason why it does that, and our central location, a point is, if they want to get information out, they can put it on laundry carts, they can put it on our food carts, and go back to our kitchen area, which our minimum inmates work. And if they want to get information for, say, Housing Unit 7, the worker can go out there and put it onto a food cart or a laundry cart.
It's an underground gang background check of sorts. A poll taken of the gangsters in the jail to see whether a new arrival checks out and can be trusted. If a new gang member clears, he assumes his role in the gang structure. If the information doesn't check out, the consequences can be deadly. And over in the muster room for the maximum security side of the jail, a unit is gathering for an urgent mission. A deputy has intercepted a huela that contains evidence of a weapon in Housing Unit 7.
Deputy Bender, Deputy Cox.
And there's additional intel that an attack is in the works.
One of the guys in B-Boy Pod is saying that they have a weapon, one RB constructed into a tomahawk. We're assuming RB is a razor blade. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking for. It could have been passed from B, obviously anywhere in the house. We're going to do A, B, and C pod as a search.
In addition to confirmation of a weapon in the dorm, the huela reveals the names of the norteños housed there.
I have a list here, A, B, and C pod of some of the norteño known and just known affiliates.
The gang members are the target for today's raid. Finding the weapon is the mission.
It could be tucked in a book, could be anywhere. It could be a mattress that's sliced open, stuck in the foam, anywhere. So we want to make sure we do a good job, especially with the northern cells. We'll just go in, do our job, get it done.
The team moves out to Housing Unit 7, where the inmates are already on lockdown. And when the deputies arrive, the water is shut off to prevent anything from being flushed down the toilets.
Ready. Put on your shirts. Step out.
An operation like this relies on speed, getting all of the inmates out of their cells before they have a chance to destroy evidence.
Pull your shirt down. Pull your shirt down. Pull your shirt down.
And those who buck the system are immediately removed. Once out, the inmates are patted down and then placed in holding areas as the search begins. Every cell is turned over in a search for contraband, homemade alcohol, anything that's not allowed. But the real focus is the weapon. And over in C-Pod, one cell is getting special attention.
I found some information on the guy that's housed here that he's good at making weapons. It's one of his specialties, I guess, that he called it. So this was my hope for the cell. I was hoping that it would be in here. Hopefully they didn't get rid of it.
The deputy finds nothing. And throughout the rest of the cell house, the search yields contraband.
This is a jail-made tattoo gun.
But no weapons. Downstairs, they found more huelas and more names.
These show people that just arrived, it looks like, names and PFNs.
It may just be the break the team's been looking for. Up next, a deadly weapon is found in the jail. Then, another deputy is caught in a gang power play.